Intermission. Continue. Your name is Spade Slick. You're the leader of a notorious, vicious gang of mobsters called the Midnight Crew. A rival gang known as The Felt recently knocked over one of your favorite casinos. Your long quest for revenge has finally taken you to the front door of the mansion belonging to the loathsome boss, Lord English. Oh my god, Recursive, you're right. It totally is. Your subordinate, Clubs Deuce, Diamonds Droog, and a Hearts boxcar have been dispatched to various locations throughout the mansion to begin carrying out your missions. Your objective is to locate and crack English's secret vault and plunder its mysteries. That's the business end of it. The pleasures will be painting this ugly house red with the blood of those miserable green motherfuckers. Inspect timekeeping device. Stupid gang and their lousy obsession with clocks. The sooner all these idiots stop being alive, the better. You wonder where they are. Awfully quiet in the mansion, sans all the dreadful ticking. Capture log carriage clock. You have obviously no idea what that means. If it was some smart-ass way of saying, pick it up, forget it. You're already carrying an item. It's your trusty deck of cards. Build fort with clocks. You have an idea that's so much better. Clocks destroyed. 4 out of 1,000. Check for traps under the billiard drug. Jeff Foxworthy. What is under the rug is much worse than any traps you can imagine. It's a member of a species that you are not recognized with a ghastly furred upper lip. You might be in a webcomic if you uncover the unsightly you cover the unsightly individual backup and try to forget it ever existed. Play 52 pickup. You need a deck of cards to play that infernal game. Fortunately, all you have is your war chest, which you deploy on the floor. Open war chest. Shuffle contents of war chest. You rummage around. It's no unusual assortment of belongings, and nothing any mobster worth his salt would be caught plotting and scheming without. Certainly nothing eyebrow-raising. A bunch of blades, playing cards, and a variety of other miscellaneous stuff. Also, your vendetta itinerary and your heist map. Scavenged war chest for fancy headwear. What comes? Scotty dogs. If there are any elaborate headdresses in here, you'll eat your haberdasher. But of course, it's only a plain and serviceable backup hat, which naturally conceals 2 licorice Scotty dogs. Has anybody ever actually had licorice Scotty dogs? Do they still make them? Which makes you think that maybe you're wearing your backup hat. And this is your usual one. Well, if you know, the same damn hat. Hide inside your war chest. You cannot hide properly inside the chest because you cannot close it while you're inside. Instead, you can momentarily pretend it's a really cool automobile that commands the fear and respect of larcenous adversaries everywhere. Beep, beep, beep! All aboard the idiot wagon! Start up the Crosby top. Is that what this thing is for? You've had it for some time and don't quite remember how you got it. You never knew the identity of this pipe-smoking creature. Perhaps it could be the same species of the character you just saw under the rug. But you know that is impossible because this one does not feature the same bizarre furred lip. They're probably differing species within the same genus. Go to mspaintadventures.com. You don't know why you're wasting time on this website. It's for little children who poop hard in their baby-ass diapers. Also, you don't understand what the hell is going on or all these characters are. It's all a lot of nonsense. Delete the time setting on the top Crosby top. Clocks destroyed. 5 out of 1,000. Take the spade key. You take the rules card for blackjack. You've possessed this item for as long as you can remember. You do not yet know its significance, that you can hustle up a mean game of blackjack when you need to. Examine vendetta itinerary. These are the mugshots of everyone you are going to kill. You had a head start. You already offed crowbar, number 7, matchsticks, number 11, and quarters, 14, depleting them of some of their muscle. You've still got to watch out for the others and stay wary of their despicable time shenanigans. Itchy, number 1, has given you the slip repeatedly. Doze, you've captured and interrogated just as repeatedly, to no available. Trace, number 3, has broken into your secret hideout more times than you can count, while Pen, number 5, always seems to be a step ahead of you and scoops your heists. Clover, number 4, has all the intel and is highly cooperative. You might need him to crack the vault. He'll be guarded. Best to avoid Die, 6, in any direct confrontations unless you want to temporal mess on your hands. But if you need any repairs, you should always get to Stitch, number 9, and persuade him. You might need to if you can't kill Sawbuck, or 10, with a clean shot. Eggs, 12, and Dip Biscuits, 13, are morons, but they're dangerous morons. Cans, 15, is a tank, and your crew will probably need more ammunition than you pack to take him down. No one knows what Lord English looks like, but that'll be corrected tonight. You've got dibs on English. He's all yours. Wonder where your number 8 mugshot went. It's right here, but you aren't gonna kill Snowman, number 8. It's out of the question. Examine heist map. On review, your schemes seem a bit convoluted, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Deuce and Droog split up to neutralize as many filth as they can find. Your heavy muscle and expert safecracker, Boxcars, is headed straight down to the vault. Smash more stupid clocks. Use radio device to check on your unscrupulous cohorts. You put the word out to your cronies for a status report. No response yet. You clean up all your junk and prepare to get this show on the road. You slip the spade key back into the deck of cards, then pocket the war chest. Smooth as clockwork, every bit as logical. Enter the hallway near the main entrance. Funny, you didn't hear any commotion or gunplay, but it looks like there's already been some action here. Or there will be. You never take tense for granted with these goons. 13 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed, apparently. Looks like Club's Deuce is getting back to you. I will put background music actually on the video when I put it up on YouTube. I've been starting to do a different type of recording, so I don't want to have music on there. That way I can load it up onto YouTube later for more music that is super fitting. So that's what I'm generally starting to do. He says he's gotten Doze tied up for interrogation. You ask him what else is new. Capturing that guy is like shooting a paralyzed monkey in the face. B. Hart's boxcar. Hey, buddy, back up. B. Hart's boxcar. You are now Club's Deuce. Club's Deuce, rough him up. He remains tight-lipped, so you deal with him a senseless shin-drubbing with your crook of felony. Oh, the humanity. You can barely watch. Uses his time powers. He's probably still using his special ability to slow time down for himself. He can't feel a thing, and certainly isn't saying anything apart from a very low noise, which could be him saying, ow, very, very slowly. Punch clocks in face to establish chronology. Why would you do that? All of these clocks are lovely. You see no reason to harm them. 987 out of 1,000 clocks unharmed. Swap hats with those. You begin a feeble campaign of psychological warfare. Perhaps compromising his fashion motif is the best way to get to him. Nope, looks like he's still in his weird state of stasis and doesn't care. Either that or it's driving him nuts. Just very slowly. Dump the contents of your war chest over him. War chest? What are you talking about? All you've got is a simple, unassuming deck of cards. Some solitaire. Don't be stupid. Play solitaire, you need a deck of cards. I don't see a deck of cards. Do you? All I see is this battle drove. Throw the hat down and stomp it mercilessly. Oh no, it's itchy and it looks like he's all wound up. He unties Doze and quickly swaps everyone's hats around. Doze proceeds to make a fleet-footed getaway. The chase is on. Stop being Hart's boxcar. Better, buddy. Okay. Alright, you're the boss. Hart's boxcars, you 8. Someone has replaced your plain and serviceable hat with a silly and undersized one. An outrage beyond compare. You're sure you know who the culprit was? You can still smell his overly caffeinated blood. 986 out of 1,000 clocks shown mercy. Lift left leg and hold it a little ways in the air. Oops. Yeah, you've got your clobber gain. 4 out of 15 green torsos deaded. Where CD sat on top of your current one. You're already wearing Deuce's hat, you fool. The one on the floor is Droog's hat. This is exactly why you always keep a backup hat on hand. This son of a bitch on the floor here has played his last game of musical hats. Soon these lugs will learn to show you some respect. You made this town what it is, after all. Wasn't nothing but a bunch of dust and rocks before you got here. Wear backup hat. You deploy your chest and swap this stinky little hat for one more suited to your tastes. Wait a minute. Thank God your precious Scotty dogs are still here. You don't know what you'd do without them. You don't even want to think about it. Di makes his usual sort of entrance. The nonplussed, vaguely bewildered sort. B. Diamond's Droog. You got it. Club's Deuce it is. You've opened your battle drum in search of your backup hat. You also need some more rope to retie Doze, who is absolutely tearing through the mansion as we speak. If you don't hurry, he may clear the chair within the hour. But it's a big mess. You mostly just see a bunch of bombs and cards. Oil. You're not sure what's what. You can never remember which card to pick up. Can't believe how terrible your memory is. Grab the deuce of clubs. You pick up 2 licorice gummy bears. These need to be stored for safekeeping as soon as possible. Finding your backup hat has never been more urgent. Pick up all these cards and throw them at Doze. You pick up a bunch of cards and fling them Dozewards. Didn't accomplish a whole lot other than putting some of your private reading material on an embarrassing public display. It's called the Licorice Magazine. Pick a card. Any card. You're busy guys, so you just pick any old thing and put it in your head. Since you're in a big hurry, you'll assume that is your backup hat. You stand nearby the 2 remaining cards on the floor. An off-suited king and jack. Pick up a card depicting a stately blonde-haired fellow. You aren't going to stand around Jack King off all. So you grab the Jack of Diamonds. Here's your backup hat. Problem solved. You guessed. Boosh! There's your dead. Here's your backup hat. Problem solved, you guessed. Hey, can you not hover, please? You can stand over here. You can stand right here. Right here. There you go, buddy. Forget your CD. Believe your hard boxcar. You suddenly remember? Your Diamond's Droog. Whoever took your hat is about to discover he's the unluckiest man on earth. You better hope you find him dead. What you're gonna do to him will be much less painful that way. Wear backup hat. You didn't have a backup hat. All of you have is a deck of cards. Oh wait, yes you do. It's stashed away in your Brawliseum. Retrieve hat from Brawliseum. You're the only member of this band of thugs who is civilized enough to keep more than one backup hat, as well as an extensive array of finely tailored suits. Your Brawliseum seems like a better storage option for your exceptional wardrobe. If there's any better sort of compartment to keep your wardrobe in, you'd love to hear it. Also, there's a shitload of guns and cards in there too. You put on a backup hat. Withdraw licorice fish from backup hat. Whew! Swedish fish are there. This is why it's a good idea to always store your candy in your backup hat rather than your usual one. Other members of your gang have learned this the hard way, finally just starting to catch on. You know what? You can go play in your room. Suddenly, you get cold socked in the face from the future. You'd know the knuckles belong to that sucker punch anywhere. Trace always knows where you've been. The spineless rat likes to follow your past trail around and mess with you. Trouble is, whenever he does, he lets you know exactly where he's going to be in the future. This time, you'll be ready for him. You radio Deuce for backup. Give him a time and place and exactly what path of the mansion to take. Resume pursuit of wounded felt member. You don't know if the wounded guy went up the stairs or came down, or who wounded him. When? Might have even been you, for all you know. Follow a trail of blood up the stairs. Can't overthink this time stuff. You go with your gut and head upstairs. Follow Diamond Droog's instructions. After giving a quick 10-4 over the radio, you take another look at your prisoner. You lucked out. Looks like round 2 of your brutal interrogation will have to wait. You couldn't find any more rope, so you tied him up with a Stretch Armstrong doll, which you happen to have lying around. You don't remember how you got it. It looks sort of dumb, but it'll have to do. Just lock Doze in the battle robe. Time to hit the road. You beat the hostage into the back of your battle drove with the bull penis cane. Wait, is this a bull penis cane? You flip the fuck out over the fact this is apparently a bull penis cane. Meanwhile, running roughly parallel with present events. Two king double aces. So they both got three of a kind. Itchy always cheats, but he's always cheated for the last time. You're gonna jump the timeline where he's dead. Looks like he got what he deserved, but as usual, you find yourself in a bit of a predicament. Make friends with Dai. You introduce your cast iron horse hitcher to your new friend. Dai scrambles with the pins he's been saving for a special occasion. How many times does he have to tell you? He made this town. Stop being SS. You stopped not being Hard's boxcar. You made your way to the Feld's secret vault. It's bigger than you were expecting. You doubt you'll be able to rely on your usual safe cracking methods, which is prying it from the wall with your bare hands. You have to think of something else. A silly dance. Hard's boxcar is the best. Too bad you're never Hard's boxcar. This is absolutely the most ridiculous thing you could possibly choose to do right now. I mean, come on. Why don't you take a closer look at that safe? Seriously. Stop that. Pry the wall from the safe. That notion is even more ridiculous than the last one. Wait, who are you kidding? No, it's not. Looks like the combination of the safe is entered via the hands of the clock. And you know, you somehow doubt spinning the hands around manually is going to cut it. Knowing these guys, you've got to alter the flow of time itself to make it work. Which, of course, is terrible. You think you'll just blow it up instead. Time to get Deuce on the radio. Deploy Punchbox. He always gets boxers. Exactly. You deploy the Wrath Tub. Retrieve 2 of hearts from backup tub. What? Oh, okay, that would be why. You retrieve your pair of wax lips. If anyone tried to steal your wax lips, you would eat their eyeballs and deliver an angry lecture into their empty sockets. Peruse Red Cheeks magazine. Just glancing at it gives you palpitations. Literature for avid cardio aficionados, such as yourself. Those burgeoning red humps, those mischievous little tail, the snug, welcoming cleft. The saucy imagery is hard to beat. Harder than what you beat inside your chest now. Your heart is what you're beating. You beat it to Red Cheeks magazine pretty regularly, you'd say. Call clubs on nearest card. You radio Deuce on the 10-4 cards. 6 and 6 on the pair of dice. What? Oh, yeah. On the 10-4 cards. Let them know you need a powder monkey on the double. You hear ticking, and it's not coming from the big vault clock above. You hope it's not what you think it is. Oh god, no. It's Biscuits. His oven timer's ticking. This is no good. Ugh, there he is. This idiot thinks his special oven transports him into the future by the amount of time he sets on the timer. The amount he sets on the timer. Well, he's sort of right, but in reality all that's happening is that he's hiding in there until the timer's up, then pops out. You guess he's relatively harmless if he's alone. You can take him. You really have to worry about us if he teams up with... Oh no. That ringing. That god-awful ringing. You can hear it. Eggs. Son of a fuck. You might as well just grab one of your axes and kill yourself now. Follow path. In the future, you've already followed the path of the mansion that Droog told you to. Trace followed Droog's past trail even farther back, but found a much fresher trail crossing his path. Looks like this little guy is talking on the radio. Says something about how he'll be right there once he gives Droog a hand. Trace decides he'll trace this guy for a while, see what he's up to, then mess with him, of course. In the present, you talk on the radio, but something about how you'll be right there once you give Droog a hand. Take a good look around the new room you're in. Looks like a trail of blood ends here, or originates here. Whatever. Something went down here in the past, or is about to go down in the future. You know what? Never mind. 21 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. Apparently. Hang on. There's a tooth on the floor. You know that tooth. You felt its bite before. Pin was here. And judging by the forensics of the scene, the angle it hit the floor, the direction of the blood spatters, and how dry the blood is, you think you know exactly what he's about to pull. Or more specifically, what he's about to have already have pulled. Finn always knows where you're going. He's followed your future trail here. He likes to mess with you from the past. Trouble is, he tips you off where he's been. This time you're ready for it. Wait. Now! Rata. Fast. Predestined bullet holes are convenient. Gives you something to aim for. 7 out of 21 clocks re-destroyed. Rematerialized. That doesn't make sense. You never went anywhere. Dai realizes there's a cost to settling the score with you in this way. The cost is having to live in a desert amidst the ruins of a dead civilization for the rest of his life. He thinks that's stupid, so he pulls your pin. Help the green man live up to his name. Take voodoo doll. You grab his voodoo doll and stick his pen in there for a good measure. Might as well keep track of everyone you've offed this way. Not that you intend to abuse his power to settle your score. What's the point if you're not going to get your hands dirty? Still, it might come in handy down the road. Lord English is supposedly indestructible. He's rumored to be killable only through a number of glitches and exploits in space-time. The doll may ultimately help you work the system if it comes to that. Hey, thank you for the 100 bits, Joe. What? You're always doing bits. Bits.
I was doing bits.
Bad bit moment. Bad bit moment. Okay, cool. Updated that. Yeah, destroy them. The clocks. Destroy them. 29 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. 5 out of 15 green torsos dead. Follow blood trail downstairs and finish him off. Problem with that is, he'll just see your future trail following him, and that'll be nothing but a loud invitation for him to mess with you some more. Besides, better leave him alive. You think you know where he'll lead you to. Just gotta be a little more subtle about tracing his blood trail. Keep your future trail out of his line of sight. Turn to being Hearts Boxcar. How goes work so far? Oh, nice. You just got to your building. So the present, and he is following the past trail. Spadeslick cannot return to being Hearts Boxcar because obviously Diamond's Droog is too busy being Club's Deuce. You just watched Trace throw a punch into thin air for some reason. This guy's awfully silly. Then he skulks off somewhere. Nice. You don't realize he's following Droog's past trail through the mansion until he gets to the point where it intersects with your trail, at which point he'll start following you. But we all realize it because it's obvious and couldn't possibly be any more clear. Implement nefarious scheme. You follow Droog's simple instructions. So simple even a forgetful nincompoop like you can remember. There's a blood trail on the floor that goes in a different direction than Trace went. You decide to follow it because that sounds like a really good idea to you. If there was something you were supposed to do after helping out Droog, you'll be damned if you remember what it was. Trace catches up to where you are, but you're gone already. All he sees is the long, gross, rubbery arm of your past trail stretching through the room. He finds his comrade tied up with the stretchy, rubber arms of a small man, but there's nothing gross or unpalatable about that in the least. Doze unslows himself and begins mumbling something fervently about his hat. In the future, bomb. I was going to use music for the upload, suggest using the songs from the Drawing Dead album. Oh, I will. I absolutely will, for the intermission, especially. 7 out of 15 green torsos dead. 107 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. Finn makes his way through the mansion to get some help. He wonders what this little guy is doing. Deuce's future trail is headed in the same direction he's headed. By sheer coincidence, Finn decides to follow him for a bit, keeping an eye on him, for as long as Deuce's path matches his, that is. There's pretty much no chance he's headed to the same place, though that would be statistically improbable. He's got no idea what these other goons are up to here. Funny, their future trails end here. He's not going to stick around long enough to find out why. He's a bit too woozy from the blood loss to sort out this mess anyway. Follow the red blood road. It's uncanny. This little guy is watching Finn's route at every step of the way. He must know something. Finn decides that he's got to take him out. But he can't get a clear shot. too dizzy. With all that C4 under Deuce's hat, firing would be a bad idea. My god, he's thought of everything. Clearly dealing with a criminal mastermind here. You stop to admire this gorgeous clock. It's so pretty. Too bad it's not ticking like some of the many other clocks in this place. Not that you can blame them. There are so many clocks in this mansion, it would obviously be impractical to make sure they all work properly. Oh look! A trail of blood. You think you'll start following it. Wait exactly 4 hours on this tomfoolery. You hate time travel. You hate time travel, you hate time travel, you hate time travel, you hate time travel. Above, a spectator has appeared at the strike of 4 and has been giggling at your foolishness for a number of minutes. Clover would have been tickled to help you open this vault, at the cost of answering a few of his clever time riddles, needless to say. Only you'd thought to seek his help first, rather than charging, like the silly brute you are, into this deadly trap of stable and not so stable time loops. Mostly unstable, really. These guys are way too dumb to maintain even elementary looping stability for more than a couple of iterations. If you weren't so preoccupied, Clover would tell you that you could use Crowbar's help to pry anything out of a time loop, stable or otherwise. If you weren't so preoccupied. If you weren't so dead. Stitch mutters to himself in his shop. He guesses eggs and biscuits are roughhousing again, because the fabric of space-time is tearing something fierce on Lord English's Cairo overcoat. This sort of thing is exactly why he keeps a backup coat and always leaves Stitch with one of them. Any gang does well to have an in-house doctor on hand. But if you deal in time travel, you better have a damn good tailor too. Call spades for backup. You tell Slick to get his scrawny ass to the vault. It's goddamn bedlam down here. You tell him you asked Deuce for backup, but surprise, surprise, he's nowhere to be found. Big surprise, you tell him. You tell him that was sarcasm. He says he knows. Slick says he'll be right there. He'll see if he can round up Droog for support. Droog says Deuce is tailing Pin, while he is tailing Deuce. He'll be there to help out Boxcars as soon as he can, and Deuce takes care of business with Stitch. Couldn't be simpler. Oh yeah, he also mentioned he pumped bin full of lead so you can cross him off the list. You roger all that. Ben busts into Stitch's workshop, blubbering something about watching out for the little guy who's about to come in here. Says to watch out because he's got a bomb on his head which is undoubtedly quite volatile, and even the slightest spark would surely set it off. Stitch sees Pin's obviously in pretty bad shape and checks his effigy. Sure enough, the thing's in tatters, but he should be just fine. It can be patched up before he bleeds to the past, and he just crumples over. Death. 8 out of 15 to our green torsos dead. Burst in, thrusting bull penis gain. Everybody out of the goddamn way. You got a hat full of bomb, a fist full of penis, and a head full of empty. Stitch says drop the livestock knob and settle the hell down. Says you do realize C4 is stable explosive and won't detonate with gunfire, right? You say, oh. Sneak into Stitch's boutique. Drop it and get in. Don't bleed on the suit. Stitch says, huh? You admit, the thought of carrying an imprisoned tailor wherever you go is satisfying for personal reasons. But in this case, keeping him alive should be useful in dealing with English later. Fraud idiots with red cheeks. This predictably accomplished nothing. Taking your smut out of hiding turned out to be a very bad idea. Now copies from the future appearing left and right, and these clowns have their paws all over it. Slick, where the hell are you? Remove Crowbar's pin. Pull it. Oh, did the stream freeze up on you? Uh-oh. I'm sure it will. Crowbar's alive again, and a whole bunch of other stuff is different. You forgot this gang almost seems halfway competent when he's running the show. The good news is, you get to kill him again. Insert and quickly remove Snowman's pins. You have no idea how much you'd like to, but even you're not that crazy. Still kinda tempting. Booting. I love this section where it's just time travel shenanigans. again. Hold still, Slick. Something in your eye. Three in the morning by Clark Powell. Really good music. Everyone always ceases gunplay when Snowman's around. You kill her, you destroy the universe. Remove knife from eye. It's not a knife, it's Snowman's cigarette holder. All you know, she's gonna have a hell of a time getting it back. Give it to Sawbuck. You chuck the lance at Sawbuck, but of course it's only a flesh wound. Seems like that's the only sort of wound you can ever inflict on the corpulent lummox. Consequently, you and he both jump to a random point in the timeline. This looks to be in the recent past, when Stitch and Crowbar were setting up the crates for the imminent gunfight, which was very thoughtful of them. Your goons should be showing up any minute with the heavy firepower. For now, you've got the drop on everyone. Kill something out of rage and frustration. Stitch gets the business end of your saber rattle. He's dead, in this timeline at least. Bring knives to the gunfight. Where do you think you're going, Vetty? You'll deal with him in a minute. You whip out your double-edged sword and Occam's razor. Occam's razor, Crowbar's head. Make it happen. Crowbar deflects the King of Spades into Sawbuck's unmissable carriage. You jump far into the past. Years in the past, which is to say the present, for the time being. A scurrilous straggler eyes impromptu desert skirmish. He dismisses them as a bunch of ill-mannered rogues warranting no further investigation, although he gives a small nod of approval to the plain and serviceable hat worn by one of the combatants, which strikes him as an absolute smashing display of good fashion sense. Hit Crowbar in the head. You can't kill him yet. You need him alive to return to the original timeline. You'll be taking that Crowbar, though. Stuff him in your deck of cards. You cram him in the war chest. Sawbuck, you need to keep alive too for the moment, not to return to the right timeline. For the right time. Speaking of which, where's Tubby think he's waddling off to? Let's go stab Sawbuck until the time shenanigans stop. You treat him to the bit of the old bait and switchblade. You appear in the future. You guess this is after the gunfight is over. The gunfight that never took place since you kidnapped everyone who was supposed to be involved. Looks like only Boxcars is here. Carry Sawbuck like Titan Atlas would carry the world. You order Hearts to drop his tub on the double, for this fat lard puts you in a wheelchair. You take Sawbuck back to your own time and kill him there. That would save you the trouble of hunting him down. Might as well take Stitch too. Maybe, you're not really sure if that's how it works. You don't really care though. You dump them in the wrath tub and stick the tub in your own deck of cards. But you give Boxcars back his sword Literature, which he'd carefully left in plain sight. No one ever catch you leaving your smut around, and even if you did, that copy of Terrier Fancy magazine could belong to anyone. No one can prove nothing. Stick Crowbar's pin back in again. You go back to your original timeline, but now stuffed in your chest you've got a live Crowbar from another timeline, brought to the timeline where he's supposed to be dead. So you guess now he's alive in this timeline, which is in part defined by his death. Okay, whatever, you probably should just kill him again anyway. Also, Sawbuck from another timeline is in there too. So you guess now there are two Sawbucks? This is getting kinda dumb. You open the chest, releasing them both. Crowbar doesn't look too pleased. You deflect his gunfire into the awesome gravitational pull of Sawbuck's astonishing girth. Everybody into the past! You dodge his next round too. Seems Sawbuck from this timeline, i.e. the real Sawbuck, was in this room at this point in time. He and Crowbar exchange bullets. Off they go. They no doubt go on to spend the rest of their ammunition peppering each other throughout the timeline, destroying all of these clocks in the process between now and the present. You guess that explains the mess when you got here. Thank God you figured that out. You'd surely have lost sleep over it. 20 out of 107 clocks were destroyed for the first time, eventually. You know what? Never mind. Take a moment to think of some time-based one-liners. You think you got one. Time travel can sure be a double-edged sword. Wait, that was really off. That was awful. Really, really bad. You're sure you can do better than that. Let's see. Sorry to... No, time's running. No, wait, fuck. You ask yourself from the past for a little help. Time's something about time. Time being up. No, wait, how about some kind of clock pun? No, damn it, will you just listen? You were almost onto something. Time is... Screw this. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Oh, and just what does this quivering mound of blubber think he's up to? Stab first, utter puns later. Just as you hear your past self asking what happened to your eye, you jab Sawbuck with your butterfly effect knife. You remember a little while ago asking yourself about your eye, and not giving yourself an answer just before disappearing. Maybe, if you stopped and thought about it for a second, you could have warned yourself and avoided this whole mess, albeit in the process of creating a paradox. But your strict policy of stabbing first and answering questions later prevented it. You're sure your past self understood. You are sure of this because you are very clearly understanding. You're now past Spade Slick. Again, you were just about to pull Crowbar's pin. Guess all the stuff with your future self and Sawbuck originally happened in this room while you're off watching someone else, like Diamond's Drew, or something. That makes sense. Remove Crowbar's pin. A whole bunch of shit happens that we already saw. Okay, it just takes me back. Be future Spade Slick. Being your future self is a lot more constructive because you get to do stuff you haven't already done. Looks like you're in the future. It's a bloody mess in here, and the clocks are more bullet-ridden than ever, and it seems Crowbar and both Sawbucks have been decapitated. You're almost certain this is something you will be or already responsible for, which of course means more time traveling. Looks like the tub and chest are gone, which means future you must have packed up and left already. Gotta take notes of these sort of things so that you know where you are on the timeline. You notice something on the wall over there. One of the clocks that wasn't destroyed before is now bloodied and full of holes, also with oil. Not especially noteworthy. You just have a feeling you should register this fact. 108 out of 1,000 clocks destroyed. Quickly remove Lance from Sawbuck. You pry the cigarette holder from his torso. Whoops, another time jump. This tub of goo keeps going for his gun. Widebody's gotta settle his big ass down. You really should incapacitate him without inflicting another wound. Knock Sawbuck unconscious. Count some sheep, bitch. Wait. Clock on the wall. It hasn't been destroyed yet, but it's about to be. It's ticking down to the time it's stuck on in the future. Maybe if you time it just right, you can end this whole mess in one fell slice. You've even got an ice-cold one-liner to dish out when the time comes. You've been working pretty hard on it. Wait for it. Hate to cut and wait, no, not yet. Wait for it. Hate to cut and damn it, not yet. Hate to cut and run. Shit. Hate to chop off all your heads with this sword. Really sorry about that. My bad. You slay them with your rapier wit. 9 out of 15 green torsos dead. 2 out of green torsos deaded twice. 1 out of 15 green torsos dead for the first time, but it's an alternate universe torso, so you guess maybe it counts? 7 out of 108 clock gratuitously redestroyed. Huge bitch. Blah, blah, blah. Grab the tub, chest, move on. That is, altogether, enough of this nonsense. All spades. You check up on Slick's status. Slick says he killed Crowbar again, Sawbuck twice, and Stitch once. Hang on. You ask him if this is an alternate timeline Stitch. He says he guesses so. He says that it doesn't count. You've got the real one here. He mutters some foul language, and you can't quite make out, but you tell him never mind and hurry down to meet you at the vault. He says he took some damage from Snowman. You say, you know. You're having some effigies made of yourself with the backup hats. Deuce brought Slick's crumpled backup hat, which he obviously wound up with somehow. You're not sure what happened to Deuce's. Boxcars is obviously tied up at the moment, so you can't get your hands on his yet. Slick says he's got both their hats and he'll be down ASAP. You say alright. He says in the meantime, see what you can do about this eye. Have Stitch patch up SS's effigy. Get to work, thread monkey. Have the right eye patched up. Your sprite was flipped the wrong way. You get Diamonds on the radio and tell him to undo it and wait until you're turned around. Says it's the right eye, right? Were you facing left or right? You say it's only right when facing left. The left eye when you're facing right. He says, oh, so it's the left right eye. You say, yeah, but hang on a minute. You'll turn around so it's the right eye. He says, okay, he'll wait. That's better. Arm yourself in case Cans shows up. If Cans shows up, none of these weapons you've got are going to do any good. You admire the lance for a moment. It's a pretty sweet weapon with outstanding craftsmanship. At least you got something out of the eye gouging. She'll have to pry this thing from your rigid, severed arm if she wants it back. Ride around on Horse Hitcher, pretending to joust. Yeah! I love that. Yeah! Oh, shit. Snowman caught him. And left just as mysteriously. Can't believe she saw you horsing around like that. You'll never live this down. Shoot up Biscuits and Eggs effigies. Stitch keeps their effigies in a big warehouse several miles away because of their ridiculous duplication tendencies. You're sure as hell not going to drive all the way over there, so you just shoot them all in person. This was such an unbelievably terrible idea. Charge! This is incredibly delirious biz nasty. This is incredibly silly. Problem Sleuth is something we'll read later. Start whacking things with the crowbar. Everybody looks like they're dead. First thing is, the first thing you whack is Egg's egg timer. You do this because, of course, you know that Crowbar's crowbar will destroy any temporal artifact and completely negate its effect on the timeline. And that makes all the copies, disappear. Attempt to eat eggs. Your attempt is an overwhelming success. Biscuits is looking a tad snug in his muffin tray. He thinks it's about time to poke a broom straw in this battle. His dough will live to rise another day. See you in the future, suckers. Crowbar, Biscuits oven, make it happen. You deal the oven a wicked flogging, but not much happens. The oven doesn't really have any magical time properties to be negated. This travels in the future at a rate of 1 second per 1 second, like everyone else. Put dynamite in the oven. You set the bomb to go off in a few seconds when both it and Biscuits are released from it in a few hours. Turn up heat on Biscuits' oven. You're pretty sure this oven doesn't actually work at all. Just wheel it off somewhere else in the mansion so it can explode in peace. Boosh! 12 out of 15 green torsos dead. Probably some more clocks destroyed too. Use Crowbar to pry the safe open. Since your expert safecracker apparently spent the last 5 or 6 hours being totally useless down here, you figure it's time to take things into your own hands. Huh? What's this little fellow all worked up about? Clover insists that you reconsider. Using that to pry open the vault would be ever so much bad luck, like breaking 1,000 mirrors all at once. The sort of mirrors that tick and have numbers and tell time and stuff. That is the worst kind of mirror to break, luck-wise. Politely ask Clover to remain calm. He refuses outright and starts doing a really frisky jig. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo. Okay, thank you for the warning. He begins spinning a fanciful series of riddles, illuminating the true path to opening the vault. Mysterious music fills your ears as your mind assumes the shape of a pretzel. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo. This is how the music would sound if you were listening to it right now. Ask Clover for the ultimate riddle. You ask Clover to open the safe. What's this? Hee hee, you think you're about to shoot Clover? He's so lucky the gun will probably jam or something predictable like that. Nice try, though. 1/3, okay, next page. Just start whacking with a newspaper instead. You don't have to be all that unlucky to get whacked around with a newspaper. It's sort of a gray area. Check personal ads of periodical. Let me go back, pull that up, and make sure I know it's on there. I will not read that. I will read that, but I will not show it on stream. This isn't a real newspaper. It's just a wrapper for your private sword literature, which no one can ever see. Uh-oh, slipping out of it. Your appetite for monochrome beauties is nearly on public display. Gotta keep a lid on that smut, especially with Clover around. It wasn't bad, but I'm not entirely sure how Twitch would react to it. I'm not sure. So I just read it. I read it, but kept it off screen. It was vintage smut, I would say. Suddenly, the whole vault room is shaking. You wonder what it could be. It sounds suspicious that like Kane is about to blow through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style. You pray to God that it's not Kane about to fly through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style. All of a sudden, Kane flies through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style. Black and white boob. Exactly. I don't think it actually showed anything either, but definitely on the edge. Resist to shout, oh yeah. Oh no! Literally, he punches you into next week. You find yourself going about your business a week later. Looks like you're doing a little grocery shopping. You're a bit confused, having no memory of the previous week. You have no idea what's on your grocery list. Out of milk? What kind of produce do you need to stock up on? It's all a little overwhelming. And to make things worse, the selection has too many prices and values. Use Egg's body as bait for cans. Battle technique, torso flail. You flail the torso Kanewards and attempt to placate him with red meat. Problem sleuth. And you get punched and those spirited horse. Cans clocks boxers entirely out of the current calendar year. You land in a totally different, outdated calendar. Looks like this one's themed with spirited horses. You'll be up to your ass in horses for a whole year. Just great. This is just what you need to be doing. Farming all these goddamn horses. Fucking pain in the ass. Ignore him and just try the safe open. You don't care what the consequences are. You need to crack open the safe and be done with it. This whole intermission was starting to get a little punchy anyway. Your massive release of temporal distortion from the vault transports you to a highly unfavorable timeline. Looks like the entire mansion was leveled, except for the vault and its enclosure. Everyone's dead, except for you and you know who. But at least the safe's open. 1,000 of 1,000 clocks destroyed. 14 out of 15 green torsos dead. 3 out of 4 black scuff lads off. Enter the vault. There's nothing in here except an opening on the floor. There is a door with a keyhole, and you have a feeling you know how to open it. You only wonder why English's treasure be locked behind a door with a spade on it. Dramatically use the spade key. You guess this is what the spade key was for all this time. Dramatically wield the spade key in a matter-of-fact manner. Peek inside the keyhole. What keyhole? Clearly a barcode scanner all along. Like the kind they sweep groceries over at supermarkets? This reminds you should do some shopping next week. You're not going to peek inside because the lasers can blind you in one eye. Oh wait! Use roll cards for blackjack. This is never a problem because there's clearly a barcode printed on the rules card for blackjack, as well as your arm. But there's nothing wrong with a little redundancy, you guess. Get on with it. Huh? It's Snowman with the gun. Oh, are you looking for this? Well, come and get you contemptuous she-witch. Gnome's black inches no doubt have been responsible for more than a few red cheeks. Rips off his arm. Whoosh and slap. Flip your sprite. Turn way sprite flip. You got it. You got to flip it turn ways. Not reading hello, sweet bro and hello Jeff. Scan the barcode. Side was the spirograph. Down. Oh. And you're this guy again? Been a long time. Hey kid. Yeah, you. Boggle vacantly at these shenanigans. It began to dawn on you that everything you were about to do may prove to have been a colossal waste of time. End intermission.